All right, Mr. Carter Page. Mr. Carter Page is suing Comey, James Comey, the DOJ, and a whole bunch of other people for the Crossfire Hurricane hoax. The title of Zero Hedge says abuse. The title of Zero Hedge says Carter Page sues Comey, DOJ, and others for $75 million over Crossfire Hurricane abuse. This is a complete hoax. Remember Crossfire Hurricane? The FBI sting operation, the hoax sting operation that targeted President Trump. It targeted Carter Page. It targeted Michael Flynn. It targeted Roger Stone. It targeted Manafort. It targeted Papadopoulos. All these people. This was Crossfire Hurricane. It was a soft coup against President Trump and the United States of America, led by James Comey. But I think Brennan, Obama, Biden had a hand in this, if not directly overseeing this soft coup against an incoming president and then an acting president of the United States of America. But Carter Page was one of the people who had his life completely ruined by the despicable FBI director, former FBI director, after Trump canned him, James Comey. Let's get into this article from Zero Hedge. And let's see what Carter Page is doing. Finally, Carter Page is going after these crooks. Good on you, Carter Page. You deserve it because these guys ruined your life. They ruined your life. And Zero Hedge says, former 2016 Trump campaign aide Carter Page has filed an 8-count complaint against the Department of Justice, the FBI, and former FBI Director James Comey and others. Filed in the D.C. court. That part worries me a bit because D.C. is the swamp. It is a radical leftist establishment swamp. So it worries me that he's filing in the D.C. court, but he probably had to file in the D.C. court. Anyway, filed in the D.C. court, Page seeks at least $75 million in damages over, amongst other things, obtaining 4 illegal foreign intelligence surveillance warrants against him. From the Federalist, this is the Federalist here, this is what they say, Page's 59-page complaint lists as defendants a veritable who's who of the Spygate scandal, including former FBI Director James Comey, Assistant Director Andrew McCabe, and the disgraced team of Peter Strzok. Lisa Page. Also singled out was Kevin Clinesmith, who earlier this year pleaded guilty to falsifying an email to hide Page's past service as a source to the CIA, and FBI agents Joe Pinetka and Stephen Soma and Brian Auten, with additional defendants identified merely as John Doe 1 through 10 and Jane Doe 1 through 10. I wonder who John Doe and Jane Doe. I wonder who those people are. Maybe the mainstream media, maybe CNN, maybe MSNBC, maybe Don Lemon, maybe Chris Cuomo, maybe Rachel Maddow, and all the people that smeared, absolutely smeared, and went out to destroy Carter Page. That would be nice. Why not go after CNN? After all, Covington Catholic, sad man, he got a nice payday from CNN. Go after them all, Carter Page. $75 million is low. You should triple that. You should triple that for what they did to you. Anyway, let's get back to what Federalist says. The first 4 counts of his complaint allege claims under FISA, with 1 count seeking damages for each of the 4 FISA court orders the defendants obtained against Page. FISA provides a private right of action to allow, quote, an aggrieved person who has been subjected to an electronic surveillance or about whom information obtained by electronic surveillance of such person has been disclosed, to sue those responsible. While Page's attorneys are filing a civil claim under FISA, the filing notes that the same act makes it a criminal offense to illegally engage in electronic surveillance under color of law. Page also claims that the United States government is responsible for civil wrongs, and I quote, in the same manner and to the same extent as a private individual under like circumstances, a federal tort claim which allows Page to sue the government for wrongful conduct as if it was a private person. Go after them, Carter Page. Go after them. Meanwhile, thanks to expert analysis by Cleveland, a lawyer and a CPA, Page alleges a Bivens claim named after a Supreme Court case in which a plaintiff was determined to be entitled to damages from the individual government actors responsible for violating their Fourth Amendment protection against unreasonable search and seizure, which describes precisely what the Crossfire Hurricane did in submitting the 4 false and misleading FISA applications to the FISA court. Lastly, Page seeks justice in a pair of complaints under the Federal Privacy Act, the first of which seeks to force the DOJ to update his individual records, and the second which seeks an injunction to force the government to do so. And he says, quote, he was falsely portrayed as a traitor to his country. Absolutely. Absolutely. This guy was a naval officer. He served his country. He served the CIA and he worked with the CIA, and they sold him down the river. They went after him with everything they had in order to get to Trump. They didn't care that they were ruining people's lives. They didn't care that they were ruining Carter Page's his life. He was just a tool to get to Trump. Now remember, Carter Page, even in Mueller's report, let me show you from Wikipedia. Let's go to radical, leftist, anti-Trump site, Wikipedia, run by radical leftists. They even say that Carter Page was innocent. They couldn't even doctor their own Wikipedia page to try and paint Carter Page as some sort of guilty Russian stooge. They couldn't even do it. That says a lot. If Wikipedia can't do it, then you know that Carter Page was completely clean. Absolutely clean. What they did to him was terrible. Look at this from Wikipedia. Page was a focus of the 2017 Special Counsel investigation into links between Trump associates and Russian officials and Russian interference on behalf of Trump during the 2016 presidential election. That's a lie. That's been proven false. No connection between Trump and Russia. Zero. No Russian meddling. Zero. Except if you want to say $4,000 spent on Facebook ads. In April 2019, the Mueller report concluded that the investigation did not establish that Page coordinated in Russia's interference efforts. The Mueller report established that Page did nothing. In 2019, the Inspector General of the Department of Justice, Michael Lee Horowitz, issued a report on his inquiry into the Federal Bureau of Investigation's investigation of the 2016 Trump campaign and its ties to Russia. Horowitz found fault with specific aspects of the FBI's conduct, including omissions of facts and false statements to the FISA court when applying for a warrant to conduct surveillance on Page. According to Horowitz, an FBI attorney doctored an email to conceal that Page was a source for the Central Intelligence Agency, Kleinsmith. He doctored an email that hid the fact that Carter Page was actually working with the federal government, and that got the FISA warrants signed off by the judges, which then allowed Comey and Strzok and Page and all these swamp creatures to surveil and spy on Carter Page in an effort to surveil and spy on Trump. So they used Carter Page in order to track all the surveillance and all the communication and everything that was going on in the Trump campaign. Carter Page was an innocent tool that they used in order to get to Trump. That was it. And the media and the federal government, the FBI, the CIA, they completely ruined his life. The Adam Schiffs of the world, the Nancy Pelosi's, they completely ruined his life. They smeared him. How many times did MSNBC and CNN call him a Russian asset and a spy and a traitor? I hope Jane Doe and John Doe in that lawsuit, God, please God, let it be CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times and the Washington Post. Please, please. And remember, the Steele dossier, the bogus, fake Steele dossier, also made the claim, the crazy claim, that Carter Page was actually offered a 19% stake in Rosneft, the Russian energy giant. A 19% stake in Rosneft. That's like being offered a 19% stake in Chevron, Shell, BP. I mean, just crazy stuff. The Steele dossier was just freaking crazy. You have to be the dumbest of the dumb of the dumb of the dumb people to have believed the Steele dossier. And the Steele dossier said that Carter Page, when he was in Moscow, because he was a consultant, an energy consultant, and he gave a speech at a university in Moscow, they said that he later met with Sechin. Sechin is the guy that runs all of Rosneft. He's a close ally of Putin's. Anyway, they said that Sechin met with Carter Page, right? This guy's like the second in command to Putin. I mean, this guy's huge. That he met with Carter Page and he offered him a 19% stake in Rosneft. And I'm taking this directly from Wikipedia. If he worked to roll back the Magnitsky Act economic sanctions that have been imposed on Russia in 2012. So if he helped out with sanctions, then he would give him 19% of Rosneft. You know how much 19% of Rosneft is probably worth? That's probably worth like $18 billion. And he was just going to give him 19%. Can you imagine if BP said, hey, if you can remove some sanctions that we have, I'll give you 19% of BP. That's how stupid and outrageous the Steele dossier was. Needless to say, none of that was true. None of that was true, but once again, they used all that information to surveil, spy, and smear Carter Page. Once again, guys, a direct quote from the Mueller report from Wikipedia. The investigation did not establish that Page coordinated with the Russian government in its effort to interfere with the 2016 presidential election. Of course, Robert Mueller, you also know that Russia did not interfere in the 2016 presidential election. Unless, once again, you call $4,000 in Facebook ads an interference in the U.S. presidential election of 2016. Given what has happened in 2020, I think the Mueller report looks even more ridiculous and crazy in light of what the Democrats did this election, 2020. It makes the Mueller report and the fact that they say a Russian troll farm spent $4,000 on social media ads, it makes the Mueller report look downright freaking dumb, beyond dumb. Of course, no one is talking about Russia anymore. No one is talking about Russian interference in the elections. No one's talking about troll farms. No one's talking about foreign governments buying Facebook ads or Google ads. In this election, no one's talking about it. Everything in this election was on the up and up. Joe Biden really did get 80 million votes, 20 million votes more than Obama, 10 million plus more votes than Hillary Clinton. Right. But it was Russia's $4,000 on Facebook ads in 2016 that swung the election for Trump. The swamp, everybody, the swamp. So the only person that they have nabbed, they've gotten so far in this entire Russiagate hoax is Clinesmith. That's the only person that Barr and Durham have managed to actually indict and to get to plead guilty. And Clinesmith, for all intents and purposes, got a slap on the wrist, slap on the hand. He admitted he doctored the email that said that Carter Page was actually working with the CIA and helping the federal government on various things that then led to the judges to give a FISA warrant against Carter Page, four FISA warrants against Carter Page. And Clinesmith admitted that he lied to it. He did plead guilty to making a false statement. Slap on the wrist. That's what they're going to do to Clinesmith. That was Barr and Durham's work. Everything they've been doing has led to that one indictment. That's it. So you know what? Carter Page, enough of Wikipedia. Carter Page, good for you. I hope you become a very, very wealthy man out of this. I really do. And I hope you make Comey and McCabe and Strzok and Page and the DOJ and the FBI, I hope you make them much poorer. You deserve it. You deserve justice, Carter Page. Good on you.